Welcome to my wonderful world. My wonderful world thanks to Crusader Kings 2. The game that I'm going to be trying to play a bit more on this channel because, quite frankly, it's my favourite game of all time. Yes, this game. It looks boring. Certainly thought it would have sounded boring when I first heard of it. But once it enveloped me with its slimy tentacle, it could not let me go. And vice versa. So what is this? Crusader Kings 2, if you do not know. If you do know, skip ahead like 5 minutes, you probably won't miss a damn thing. Is a... well, there's nothing else like it. Imagine the campaign out of, like, say, Total War, like the actual, like, not the battles, the other side of it, but really, really fleshed out. And this is basically, some people call it a Game of Thrones simulator. Yeah, but history. This is a Game of Thrones mod, of course. A lot of wacky shit happens and medieval hijinks and shenanigans ensue. And basically, it's open-ended, so you can pick whatever you want to do. You can conquer the world, which is what most people seem to do. You can game the shit out of it, or you could just roleplay as a medieval ruler. Which, for this first Let's Play, I'm probably going to do something sort of like that. I'm going to have a goal in mind, but I'm not going to... I'm going to basically choose decisions as my characters would. And I may sound a bit... my nose is blocked, that's because it's hay fever season, and, well, woe is me. So hopefully that will get better. Now... hopefully I remember to edit this in, but on screen right now you're going to see a character that appeared in my game. I did not edit the game files to make this guy appear in whatever way, but what you're seeing is the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, Shahanshah... was he Olaf? I don't have the picture up. He's a 67-year-old gay, decadent, craven, arbitrary, cruel, maimed Shia Persian black leader of the First Reich. Now, you might be wondering, those are a combination of words that usually don't go together, and I assure you I did not edit the game in any way, shape, or form. That is just what the game vomited up from me. Like, it's not random at all. There is legitimately an entire story of how the fuck that guy got into power into one of the most, well... yeah, the First Reich. So now, let's start. Let's see my single-player game, shall we? Anyway, I got all the DLC except for Raj's Vineyard, and I don't have Sunset Invasion on because that's just too whack for me. The High Middle Ages. I probably should have turned on to make it interesting, but I might do that for another playthrough. High Middle Ages is your default one, and yeah, I might just go custom. Yeah, press custom, and then you can just start from any year you desire, unless you picked a DLC year, in which case, fuck you. So, I actually had an idea to just start something really small. Maybe this guy. You can create your own character should you have the DLC. This game's a bit DLC heavy, but hey, and frankly, it's the one game I don't care. Or I could play a mountain guy. Yeah, I might play a mountain guy. Oh, this guy's... wow, this guy controls a lot of land. What do you control? You control... Swabia. Well, there goes my ambitions of being a mountain lord. It looks like I'm just going to be a mountain lord as well. Ah, fuck it. Yeah, it's a bit big for what I wanted to start with. Is there any other time frames where everything's just a little bit smaller? The answer... there we go. 1079. Well, don't know how much, yeah, sure. We'll be a Lord of the Alps. I don't have the character because, you know, I want to handicap myself somehow. Welcome to Crusader Kings, and Crusader Kings, yeah, sure, I know how to play. Well, I know how to play perfectly, but for this intensive purposes, I'm going to play like my character would. And he is a fortune builder. He's very kind. He's a zealous and believes in the way of the church. He's fat, and he loves to, well, he loves the poontang. Alright, so, I'm just going to unpause this because nothing's going to happen because I'm just a lowly count with only one title to my name. What focus would my character pick? That's actually hard to say. Might go, business, actually. Get some of that cash up. That can be very useful early on. Now, early on in the game, I've noticed there's two good strategies. Now, you can usually never go wrong with, like, a leader who's really high in the martial skill. By the way, I'm not going to be explaining any of this shit to go. I'm just going to explain as I go, as I find it. But I'm not going to do too much explaining, hopefully. This guy wants to, limited crown authority. Do I like you? Yes. Yes, I do. I think you're just swell, Kaiser Heinrich III. When you start off this game, oh good, we're already at war. Brilliant. Well, because I'm a vassal, I don't actually have to do a damn thing. See, because I'm his vassal, I automatically give a portion of my soldiers to him. So he goes off and fights his own wars, and I just have to sit around not do anything. That means, even if he gets attacked, and my lands are besieged, I won't lose anything at the end of the war except a minor being inconvenienced having my fucking levies destroyed. But that's just the interesting thing, because a lot of people when they play this game, they go, I don't want to be a vassal, because that means I can't have total freedom. I'm like, yeah, true, but at the same time you are protected from, you know, Hungary. I mean, if I was on the border of Hungary and I was just playing, I was independent from the Holy Empire, Hungary would just curb stomp me anyway. And there's nothing wrong with playing as a minor power inside a larger power. Like, I don't understand why people just despise that, but anywho, that's just my personal experiences of multiplayer on this. What was I gonna do? Oh, that's right, focus so I can get business shit. Yeah, two ways to start earlier. Well, one strategy is like having a high martial skill, which will have a, having a high martial skill is basically your ability to lead armies. It's not your personal combat skill, which I don't have any at the moment. I'm on 0, so I'm neither shit or good. But having a high martial skill, basically, that increases the amount of levies or soldiers you have, as well as the soldiers of your vassals. Slightly, I think. I could be wrong. Possibly. It could be like a... Yeah, it looks like... Because I got a -10 penalty and that guy's got a -5, so I'm pretty sure it combines both the martial skill of the the Overlord, and the actual guy who owns them. That must be how that works. Yeah, I'm gonna... Wow. I'm gonna acquire a daughter. Give me a daughter, woman. Who are you? You are a pretty good spy master, ambitious, craven, proud, and arbitrary. Well, we're both arbitrary. A match made in goddamn heaven. Alright. But another way to play is, later on, if you're, say, the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, yes, having a good marshal will increase your own domain and, like, your own soldiers, but also that of your vassals slightly. But if you have a large empire, it's actually better to have a higher diplomacy, because that way, all your vassals will love you, and they'll give you most of their levies, and all of them combined will be far more than whatever your personal holdings can. What is your personal holdings, you ask? Basically, that is what you control directly. Like, I control the castle of... I suck with German names, so this is going to be horrible. I'm going to say Bregenz. The bishopric of St. Anton and the city of Landeck I don't own directly, but there is a bishop and a mayor controlling both of them, and they're both sworn their allegiance to me. Well, they don't exactly have a choice in the matter, but, you know, they can revolt. So, okay. I'm going to check my council and set them all to a work. Do I have any allies? Count of Innsbruck. You're my brother-in-law. Interesting. Alright. So his sister? Yeah, sister's my wife, and my spy master. Well, I might increase my relations with him, because... Actually, no. Yeah. I'm kind of a crappy, diplomat. Sure. We'll just send him to fabricate later. I'll explain what the fuck that music is in the background if you've played Crusader Kings. Like, that's not normal music. Mayor, what the hell are you doing? You are... leading troops and... Stop that. That's not your job. Train forces. Collect my sweet, sweet taxes. I don't want you to die, so I'm not going to send it down. Study technology, I hope you don't get caught. That's weird. Shouldn't I be able to... Okay, either I'm very technologically advanced, because Byzantine, or there's something up I'm not quite sure of. Crusader Kings, Roman Empire in the East, Byzantium, Christianity's firm bulwark against the Mohammedan infidels of the Orient, is failing. The dire situation has convinced His Holiness Pope Gregory VII to accept the possibility of an outright invasion by joint Christian forces. This signals a new era in the large-scale Christian holy wars, the Crusades, hence the name Crusader Kings. The Knights Templar, not reading that, the Knights of St. John, and the other Knights of something or another should appear right soon, as I'm trying to explain things. Yeah, okay. There's not really much for you to do. They just sit around and discover plots, I guess. Oh, they're still Vikings. Oh wait, I'm not a coastal province, so I don't give a shit. Right. You can increase my relations with the Pope, Pope Gregory the Seventh, because I'm probably not going to go on a crusade. Although, that would actually be a very good idea for me. Anywho, yeah, so you can tell this if you play Crusader before. I am running a modded game, because I've been playing this for a while, and if I go back to vanilla, I'll just probably stab my eyes. I'll go through the mods, actually. I have a mod called Bloody Peasants, which basically changes the rebelling peasant fucking thing. Basically, that's not going to matter until or if I manage to get a large, huge empire, because if you get to a certain size of empire building, you have a problem with constant uprisings, and you might think, oh, that's not bad, but at a certain level, it becomes very unbalanced, and oh god, once I played as like the Mongol horde, and I controlled a lot of land, and every 6 months I was getting a rebellion, it was getting really fucking annoying. So this mod, what it basically does is that every time you beat a rebellion, you get like a bigger bonus for well, suppressing the peasants. Down here, revolt risk, and it stacks the more rebellions you crush for a while, and just it gives you a bit more breathing space. It's not broken or cheaty or anything like that. I just think it's more balanced, to be perfectly honest. I've got Cultural Cities Remix. This is a great little mod. It actually changes the look of the towns that appear on the map. Because in default game, unless they've changed this recently, all look like this. Like all the little French towns. But now all the little Latin like towns and cultures have their own like Latin-esque buildings. I can't remember if Muslims all look like this, but yeah. I know the Byzantine ones look a little bit different, and yeah, so all the like little towns look a bit different. I think it goes a long way just to like really flesh out the difference between cultural, well, Middle-Age Europe. Enhanced Black Death. Now, it's only worked once for me, but basically, Black Death in regular vanilla Crusader Kings 2 is a little bit shit. I wanted to bend me over and fuck me, so yeah, that's what that does. It basically really screws you over in the long run, which I like that. I really do. Now there's two mods I've made. I'll tell you one right now, and I'll tell you the second one at the very end of this mod list. The first one is the Holy See. It's just a little name that changes the thing and the Rome to Holy See and changes the city to City of Rome. Personal preference thing. It's more for if you want to play as a Republic and take Rome and like I don't know, build the Roman Empire as a Republic or something like that, which I did, and I just keep it on for shits and gigs. Now, next mod is Fixed Way of Life. Way of Life is a DLC which basically, well, it's the focuses. So I picked the business focus. Now before, I had this minor problem whenever I was a king, in that every single male vassal I had was a seducer. And one way or another, they'd always try and fuck every single female in my family. Now, this is fucking annoying. Not to say that having the odd of, like, crazy, seducey guy is good, but when you start getting really, like, you know, honorable cleric, fucking high-learning, zealous people just, you know, getting right up in the veggie poo, it gets kind of, you know, ridiculous and unrealistic. So this one, what it basically does, it more defines what likely the AI is to pick in their focus. So let's check this guy. This guy's a tough soldier. That's his education. So he's more likely to pick more war-related things. So see, I'm guessing everyone starts off. Yep. Well, this guy's a theologian because he has a relatively high learning. See, it's not completely dependent on your education type or the AI's education type. It's more increases the probability. See, this guy's an underhanded. Here we go. Crusade for Jerusalem. I'll just quickly pause this so I can actually catch up to what the fuck I'm saying. Yeah, so guy, diplomacy, that thing, and carousing, which is a diplomatic sort of focus. You also see like older people sometimes pick theology or scholarship because they're in the twilight years and they're afraid of death and they want to believe their eternal soul will live forever. Anyhow, we'll just ignore those religious overtones. Realistic battles. This changes the battles of the Crusader Kings. So realistically, historically, after battles, there are a lot of prisoners taken, and basically there was a whole sort of miniature industry around the idea of taking hostages. And in regular Crusader Kings 2, it's very hard to actually take, hostages. It was a big part of it, and I just felt that increasing that's a bit better, and it also gives it a bit more reason to... I didn't actually join that, did I? to actually try and take prisoners, well, go to war, because there's a chance even a smaller force can beat a larger one if their commander is leading, like, a really small army and you catch them just in surprise. Because that did actually happen in history. It's just, I think it kind of adds to the realism and also to the danger, and sometimes makes wars easier, sometimes it makes you, well, worse. So if I go on the best Crusaders to Everest with 1,000 troops, I'm leading, alright? Good. I'm only going for the Crusader trait. That'll make me pretty good in everyone's eyes. Yeah, realistic battle also increases your... It plays with the idea of personal combat with a character. So, I'm a really shitty character. I'm trying to find another one who has fucking combat skill. There's Guy. Personal combat of 1. He has that because of his education, I think. Yes, his education. And basically that increases the likelihood he'll actually die or survive in battle. Now, traits like Craven will make you more likely to survive because you're more likely to stand back from battle. Whereas traits like Brave, which means at the same time you have a higher modifier for, you know, surviving, but at the same time you're brave and you're a bit stupid and there's also a chance you might do something really dumb. And don't worry, I've played once, well, played a whole game through this, and it doesn't break it so if you have a brave guy, he's just gonna die. Because I notice a lot of people, they have a character who's really good at warfare, but they never had him lead armies. And as a result, they're depriving themselves of a decent general. Sure, your king might die, but, you know, that's Crusader kings. And, you know, if your character's brave and you're not letting him on the battlefield, that's kind of, you know, not role-playing properly. But hey, people play the game to their own accords, and that's how I play. Unique buildings is the next mod, and it adds specific buildings around the world that are, well, they're historical buildings, in other words. So the Grand Canal, the Doge's Palace, St. Mark's Basilica. These are all buildings that, you know, exist in the real world. In the Middle Ages were built, and, you know, you can build them now, you know. Alright. Now, there's 3 mods by, well, I don't know what VS stands for, I've had them for so long. VS Council mod, basically. I can't remember what the fuck that even does. Yeah, I don't remember what that does. Yeah. Well, you can look it up on the Steam Workshop. All these are from the Steam Workshop. Damascus Steel Swords, that means you can buy a Damascus Steel Sword, which at the start of the game no one has. Basically, you go on a crusade, you get the option to buy a Damascus Steel... Okay, apparently you don't. Well, you know, if you're brave, you can buy one. It's more of a family heirloom you can pass down, and yeah. VS Sounds changes the sounds of, well, most of the game. I just like these sounds better than vanilla ones. And, well, except for the naval ones, they sound fucking hilarious, but you know, not that bad. Now the last mod, which you can probably hear in the background, is a music mod, which I have been working on. The reason why you cannot download this one yet as for time of recording is because I'm still testing it and make sure that, like, all the levels are good, and this video will be a good chance to see who the fuck owns this, if anyone. Because I've taken music that's all been written 700 plus years ago, and logically you'd think no one would own that copyright. But in today's world of bullshittery, I want to see what comes up in the YouTube, well, claim copyright tag shit, and see who, well, pretends to own it. Because I do want to upload this, but it's too big for the Steam Workshop, so it's probably going to end up on ModDB or something. But, we'll see. Basically, it's a music mod that just, you know, adds more atmospheric music. It's all middle-aged music that's been recreated in modern times, and, yeah, this one sound right now, I think it's a DLC song, so just ignore that. But yeah, I've added like 11 or so songs, and they're all, yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get to them in this playthrough. Alright, onward march to the Crusades. Am I the only one going? No, a lot of people are going. Anyone interesting? I should've got a drink. Fucking hell. Notice there's no kings or emperors. There's only like serene doges. Ah, that's enough ranting. I really hope I'm not the first one there, but yeah, looks like I'm going to. We gotta pass through enemy territory. Enemy territory! Where the hell is everyone? Like, so many people join, but I can only see champagne. There's a Knights Templar. Well, it looks like we're going to be the vanguards to a new and glorious war. We are truly the soldiers of Christ. I didn't get a chance to explain it, but the reason I joined the Crusades, like, immediately is because I'm zealous. Role-playing! I'm probably going to lose all my soldiers. Wow!